Hey, welcome back to True Brew Art. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to talk about the pilot that just dropped, Knights of Guinevere. Now, I haven't really talked pilots before. It's kind of very different thing than going over a full series or an entire, season of a show, but I thought it was just a really good pilot and I wanted to get it out there. Mostly because, man, what an impressive visual show. Like I was really impressed with the character design, the and I'm always amazed by people that have a really good grasp of color theory, as just because I know for myself that's a big personal struggle is man, am I bad with color. But it is something I always aspire to. And I will say I thought it was just a very well delivered pilot in terms of its visual storytelling, the writing. There was a lot of times where it was just kind of quiet and just like the music was going. So it really gave you this really good grasp of atmosphere. All the characters seemed to be on point in terms of like their personality. You grasp who they are very quickly. You see that with Andy, you see that with Frankie, Sparky, who's one of the side characters. Meanwhile, you do have Guinevere, and you get kind of a taste of her personality, but we don't really know, it's like we know she's an android, and we know there's a lot that goes on with who she is, what she is. We don't really get a full grasp on her, but I'm assuming we don't really know her entire backstory as of yet. You just feel for her situation, man, just in that first few minutes of animation. I don't really want to give it away, but when you first kind of see her appearance as she's having this flashback in the beginning of the show with the creator Orville Park and the daughter Olivia, and it's just brutal, and you're like, and you just get this sinking icky feeling, and you're just like, man. But it's good. Like, for I am not a person who likes gore. I don't really even really always like scary stuff. I like kind of the step above. I like a little bit of spooky things. But I'm also one of those people, man, it's like if it's scary enough, I'll have nightmares forever. So I'm always very cautious with my media consumption because I know what scares me and what doesn't. And this seems to strike a fine balance of like, oh, it's a little bit scary, like you feel a little bit on edge, a little bit a little gory, but not too much. Definitely not one I would show to younger kids, like in any way or capacity. Some of the older teens might. I'm sure there's going to be younger kids and teens that end up watching it, which I would say don't save yourself some pain. But for some older, for older kids, I think it'll be good. I'm interested to see kind of the themes. It talks about how it's going to have some more adult themes that it's going to touch on, which I'm interested to see because a lot of the time when people are like, it's a more adult show, half the time people don't really, I think, fully grasp what that means. Like they talk about subjects without adding any depth to it, and I'm hoping that's not the case with this show. I mean, because there's some people that it's more like, let's just call it like Family Guy style, where it's like, oh, here's these adult topics. We're mostly just being crass or violent for the sake of being crass or violent. And to me, I'm just like, okay, that's not really adult. That's like what an edgy teenager thinks adulthood should be. When in reality, it's just tackling, deeper things with depth and nuance, which again, I could have a whole side topic on this, but I think for what it is, I'm really hopeful that they will actually have those adult themes that it's like of situations that are hard and painful, going through different things like trauma and abuse, and handling it in a really mature way. Because I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that and not just doing a bunch of shock value. Because that's the biggest thing is there's a lot of shows, and I could, again, like, I'll just say it. Hell of a Boss, the Has Been Hotel stuff, because like, not really my cup of tea anyway. Like I was saying, I don't really lean towards the crass or, those kind of things. But that's one where it's like, man, we're going to talk about all these adult things, but they do it in such a childish way. It just doesn't feel like it was made for adults who actually want to sit and think and ponder on stuff. Like, to me, an adult show is one where it's like you should be able to walk away from that and be thinking about the themes and thinking about the characters and the depth in those themes and in those characters. And you should be thinking about it for a long time. Like, it should really stimulate your mind and like get you thinking. And I feel like a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write adult content, they miss the mark. Because again, they just want to show adult subjects. They don't want to actually explore it with nuance and with depth. They just want to kind of have that shock value of like, hey, you're an adult, here's, a dirty joke. Here's, something, horrific that's going to stay in your head all day. And I just hate that. And it's like, so I'm really hoping this delivers more on actually tackling the themes. And so far, I think it will. Like, even though I had problems with Owl House, I th- um I know a lot of it stemmed, and there was a lot of problems in the history of the show, with Disney and all of this stuff. I really do think this is going to go in a good direction. Eventually, I might, once the entire first season has dropped, I might do an overall like review. But for now, I highly recommend checking out the pilot because I'm really hoping it gets big so it can do really well. More money, better animation, and I'm all for that. But I will say, I think this was a gorgeous pilot. It's probably one of the best pilots I think I've seen in terms of just like indie animation. It probably helps that it's a bigger name behind it. Plus, I know Glitch, that company, which I'm like, are they even indie anymore once they're that big? They have this is like what, the fourth pilot, um, but that they've put out. I will say it's like I'm really hopeful because I liked the Amazing Digital Circus, or like, it's not over yet. That one I might do an entire review on the seasons once it's done. Um, but the others I haven't seen, like Murder Drones, or I saw the other one, the one that I don't like, which maybe we'll get into in a different topic. But this, I do like. Check this out if you haven't, and I can only say it so many times, but so go out and support the 2D animation, that's out there because this is gorgeous, and I hope to see more of it.